A very good morning to you. Welcome to the Morning Outlook Report. I'm Rachel Jones, reporting live from Kalkine TV Sydney studios. Now, the Australian share market is expected to start the week on a positive note. According to the latest SPI futures, the ASX 200 is likely to open a massive 166 points higher today, or 2.4% higher. At the closing bell on Friday, the S&P ASX 200 was 0.1% or 7 points higher at 6,998. Over the week, it was 3.2% or 224 points lower. On Friday, the best performing sector was the tech sector, up 8.1%, whilst the worst performing sector was financials, down almost 1%. The best performing stock was Block. Their shares closed 32.5% higher at $153.75. The worst performing stock was Blackmores. Their shares closed 10.5% lower at $75.31. The US shares rallied amid reports Russia was ready to send a delegation to Minsk for talks with Ukraine. However, the relief rally could be short-lived amid uncertainty over global growth outlook. Now, looking to some Australian business news from this morning, and Samphire Resources reports strong copper price and also operational performance drove them to a record revenue and a 24% increase in interim profit to $55.2 million. Samphire, though, did cut its dividend, announcing an interim dividend of 3 cents a share. That's less than half the 8 cents a share interim dividend it paid a year ago. The company's revenue rose 22% to $311.8 million. And the company's DeGrussa operations delivered production of 34,621 tonnes of contained copper and 6,254 ounces of contained gold for the period. And this was towards the financial year 2022 guidance. Moving on, and Perseus Mining has entered into an agreement with Orica Gold to acquire the Canadian miner by way of statutory plan of arrangement. Perseus owns 15% of Orica, and they've offered the remaining shareholders 0.56 Perseus shares for each Orica share held. That's an implied value of 89.6 Canadian cents a share. The total consideration to be paid by Perseus for 100% of Orica is 215 million Canadian dollars. Orica's board of directors unanimously recommends that Orica shareholders vote in favour of the Orica acquisition. And Newcrest Mining has received approval under the Investment Canada Act that all regulatory approvals have now been obtained in relation to the acquisition of Pretium Resources by way of Canadian Plan of Arrangement. The transaction is expected to complete on or around the 9th of March, Vancouver time. The transaction, as announced on the 9th of November 2021, adds a large-scale, long-life, low-cost mine to Newcrest's portfolio of Tier 1 assets and is expected to increase Newcrest's annual gold production to well above 2 million ounces. The combination of Newcrest and Pretium will create the largest gold miner in the Tier 1 jurisdiction of British Columbia, operating both the Bruce Jack and Red Chris mines. Well, now it's time for a very short break, but stay tuned for more news set to affect your trading day.
Hi there, James Preston for Kalkine TV. Are you into gaming and virtual reality? Does AI and the endless possibilities it entails capture your interest? Or are you constantly trawling through the web to try and discover the latest updates and innovations in the tech space? Well, let us do the work for you. From the latest product launches to shocking affairs on the World Wide Web, exclusive interviews and information about the top companies like Apple and Google to brand new tech startups vying for your attention. Kalkine's Tech Beat has the latest in what matters in the world of technology. Join me every single Thursday on the Tech Beat, exclusive to Kalkine TV.
And welcome back to the Morning Outlook Report. I'm Rachel Jones. Over in the US, on Wall Street, the Dow Jones surged 2.5%. The S&P 500 climbed 2.25% and the Nasdaq ended 1.6% higher. The global markets may see some selling pressure through the week after Western nations announced a harsh set of sanctions to punish Russia for its invasion of Ukraine. In the global markets, the Stoxx 50 rose 3.7%, the FTSE surged 3.9%, and the DAX soared 3.7%, with the CAC closing 3.5% higher. Now, Russia's main stock index closed up 20% on Friday after Thursday's record 33% drop, while the ruble recovered somewhat after falling to a record low on Thursday at 90% of the dollar, with analysts expecting more pain on Monday. Oil prices fell on Friday after sharp rises early in the session on concern over potential global supply disruptions from sanctions on major crude exporter Russia. The April Brent crude futures contract fell 1.2% to settle at $97.93 a barrel. The more active May contract shed 1.4% to $94.12. Gold prices reversed course to slide 1% on Friday. And palladium also slipped as Russia's invasion triggered sharp swings in the precious metals market. Spot gold fell 0.9% to $1,887 an ounce, swinging between gains and losses throughout the session. Well, that's all from our Morning Outlook report here on Kalkine TV. Have a great day trading and stay tuned for more market updates and economic news live throughout the day. This is Rachel signing off for now.